I feel violated by a rock painting kit. Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of And Works Hard for His Money. Let's flush it down the toilet. So what have I been wasting my money on this time? I bought a rock painting kit and it's kind of weird. When I bought this, I was like, oh, well, I don't know what I was thinking, but I bought this because I wanted to do some rock painting because that's a thing. And in this kit, you've got everything you need to do rock painting. But then it kind of dawned on us that I actually already have everything I need in order to do rock painting in the studio. All I needed to do was go outside and pick some rocks. But that wasn't good enough for me. I needed to waste my money on this kit. So let's open it up and see what it's like. Okay, so this little kit cost me about £15. And given it some plus points, I think the packaging looks really nice. I think that's very well presented for what it is. You know, it kind of looks professional and, I don't know, well curated and sophisticated? Can a rock painting kit look sophisticated? It kind of looks sophisticated. And surprisingly enough, it does have instructions, which it's quite surprising because you're literally just painting a rock. It's not rocket science. So step 1 is choose your rock. Top tip: you don't have to settle for our stones. Why not head outside to find even more pebble pals to paint? Pebble pals to paint. So I don't have to settle for your stones. I'll just find my own. But then what's the point? All I've got is some paint and some pens and a paintbrush. I've already got all that stuff. The whole reason I bought this is so I didn't have to go outside. Step 2, get painting. Whatever design you like, get creative and let the rocks come to life. I'll try. Step 3, our paint is excellent quality. I have a feeling that's a lie, and I have a feeling the paint in here is going to be awful quality. Our paint is excellent quality, but to make sure your design looks tip-top for the longest time, pop some varnish on or setting spray to seal the stone. Varnish not included in the kit. So why tell us to varnish it if you're not going to include it? And then step 4 is show off your rocking artwork in the house. Give it as a perfect present. Or play some games with friends, like hide and go seek stone edition. You know, when you can feel something like really trying to make something sound better than it actually is. It's desperately grasping at straws. And well, I suppose you would have to, wouldn't you? You're selling as a rock painting kit for 15 quid. Alright, let's get into it. Okay, so in this kit we have a couple of paintbrushes and a little paint set. And I don't know whether anyone's seen these kind of paint sets before, but I'm pretty sure they're the kind of sets that come in like paint by numbers, and they're usually pretty bad quality. They're usually pretty awful paints. And they said on their box that their paint is excellent quality. I'm not buying it. I know for a fact they're lying. This paint will be the cheapest shittest paint they could have possibly found. Okay, and we've got some paint markers as well. So it looks like we've got a gold one, a silver one, a black one, and a white one. And then the main component of this kit, a bag of rocks. I'm gonna try and be like kind of positive with this, and I will say they give you a lot of rocks in here. I don't know whether that is a positive. You get a lot of rocks in a rock painting kit, but I suppose they're nice shapes and they're very rounded and they're like good quality rocks, so you know, that's nice.
Say 3 nice things about M&M.
They come in a package that you can carry wherever you go.
Warning, danger of suffocation, keep away from children. I don't think a child can suffocate. Well, I suppose they could, couldn't they? Keep it away from me. Okay, so I guess we'll start painting some rocks then. I haven't really decided what I want to do. I'll test out these paint markers first. I'll do this darker one. And I think I'll try and do like a spiral design. I think that'll be fun. Does this pen even have any paint in it? I've used paint pens before and they don't usually take this long to come through the nib. How weird. Why aren't you working for? I can't get it to work. Oh wait, I think it's coming. Okay, there we go. Finally, start in the center and work my way out. Oh, they smell good. Oh, they smell so good. Oh, what's this? What does it smell like? It reminds us of something. It's like something that would get you high. These would get you high. They smell really, really nice. Don't smell them though. I'll do whatever you want, I suppose. Oh, these pens, are you kidding? I've literally just pressed it in and the nibs disappeared inside. I'm not gonna lie, these paint pens aren't the best paint pens I've ever used in my life. Because the thing is, by the time you've got the paint out of the pen, you've like squished the nib all the way down. Go for a bit of silver next. Oh my god. Oh, that silver's actually quite nice, surprisingly. Right, and finally a bit of gold. Okay, so my bullseye pattern's starting to take shape. And the problem with them as well is the nib on them is really like fat and chunky. And then by the time you've got the paint out, because you've been like hammering it, it doesn't have like a fine point on it. You can't really get a lot of detail. The black is definitely the best one out of all of them. And the smell is just absolutely phenomenal. It makes up for how crap they are. The thing is, I just don't know whether I fully understand the point of rock painting. Obviously, it's a traditional thing. It goes like way back to when they kind of painted in caves and stuff. But I feel like it's a very modern craft project that people have started to paint stones. And it's like a kid's activity and stuff like that. I'm not entirely sure whether it's an activity that I particularly enjoy, but I'm going to give it a chance. I'm going to, you know, paint some rocks and see what I think of it. I think there's actually a YouTube channel and they dedicate their whole channel to painting rocks, and I suppose I could believe it because there's channels dedicated to everything out there, but that's like some crazy commitment to painting rocks. I'm surprised they don't get bored, like of painting rocks every single time you make a video of doing something. It's just another rock painting video. I would personally get bored anyway. Okay, I think that's all I'm going to do with this rock. So I've done like a nice little bullseye kind of pattern. And to be fair, I think it looks quite nice. It's a decorative little stone. The white pen, I don't know whether you can see up there, is just, it's not a great paint pen. And the pens as a whole aren't particularly fantastic. They're not the best paint pens I've ever used in my life. But they're not awful. They're not absolutely shockingly bad. And obviously I'm very talented, so I made it work.
Make it work. Go, go, go. Do it. Go so. Work, work, work.
Okay, so moving on to my next design. And I thought we'd try out their little paint kit, which I'm just incredibly skeptical about. I'm sure we all know what I'm talking about with these paint sets. I think we've seen them pretty much everywhere in very cheap craft kits and stuff. However, this one might be different. We never know. I think we do, but we never know. Now, the one thing I was shocked about that you didn't get in this kit, because I think with rock painting, a lot of the designs, they do the like dotty mandala kind of designs, don't they? So I'm surprised they haven't included a dotting tool in this kit. Obviously you can get dots with paintbrushes, but these paintbrushes, I don't know, they're okay, but they're not fantastic. However, I think I've got one somewhere in here, yes. This is what I'm talking about, a little dotting tool. If they put one of these in, then that could have like elevated the kit a little bit and made it a little bit more kind of worth the price. But fortunately, I already have one. So I want to do like a dotting design, because even on their box, they've got... Actually, hang on a second. Them liars. I have just realised. Oh, the scandal. Oh, how dare they. You are going to... Well, I don't know what you're going to do, but you are going to be furious. Well, I'm furious because I bought this kit over this misleading packaging. But if we look at these pictures, you tell me that these aren't photoshopped onto these rocks and these aren't like computer generated images. Look at the... I didn't even notice that. Look at that star. That star is definitely not hand painted. That is a digital graphic that has been photoshopped onto a stone. Same with the banana. And it's for the majority of that tree up there, that's photoshopped. That's not hand painted. Liars. Complete liars. Even the stripy rock. In fact, every image on this isn't hand painted at all. They've just kind of played with the transparency of the image, but all of them aren't. I feel cheated. I feel absolutely cheated. They couldn't even be asked to paint their own rocks. If that doesn't say something about this rock painting kit, what does? The nerve. The absolute nerve. Who's this by? Gate 35. You should be ashamed of yourself, Gate 35. How dare you? We were rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. How dare you? I feel proper lied to. I feel violated. I feel violated by a rock painting kit. That's rude. Rude. That's so rude. I know kids, like craft kits and stuff, can be misleading, but that one even fooled me. I don't know, I didn't even pay attention to it. It kind of blindsided us. I think that's why I'm so hurt. I'm very hurt. If I was queen of the world, I would put a stop to that. They would have to include their own painted rocks onto rock painting boxes. Because you're setting kids up for failure too. If that's the expectation kids have, that their drawings and paintings are going to look this great on their lovely rocks, and then they do them and they look absolutely awful, we're just ruining the next generation, aren't we? Proper livid over that. Anyway, let's get into this thingy. In fact, I'm just gonna cut these because I can't have them all in a line like that. I find blue paint tends to be the worst paint out of all paints. I don't know why, just something to do with the colour. So let me just have a swatch of this, just to see how bad this paint is. Because if they lied on their box with their images, then they're going to lie about the quality of their paint, aren't they? Well, it's very watery paint. Okay, it's not too bad. It's not like horrific. I wouldn't call it excellent quality. I would call it kind of average quality. But what can you expect from a product that lies to you with the images, you know? I'm never gonna let that go, ever. But there's my little swatch if you wanted to see it up close. It's fine, it's acceptable. It's not absolutely awful. I've seen way worse, but it's also not excellent. Okay, so let's get this rock painted. This paint's so watery. It is so watery. The dots just bled into the rock. They should have included some of that like puff paint stuff because you can get some nice dots. I've actually got some in the studio because you can get like nice dots with that. This paint's too liquidy to do stuff like that. Try and make this dot bigger, I suppose. Like there, you can see how it's like bled into the kind of texture of the rock. Never mind, never mind. And some people might think I'm taking this rock painting video far too seriously and my review far too seriously. But I've spent £15 of my money on this. But this paint's thicker. See, that's what I don't understand. It's inconsistent. The black paint was dead thin. And this one, it's just in like a big chunk. It's very thick. It's almost like it's two different... What have they done here? This yellow paint's absolutely shite. Oh, I'm not happy. And I know this is for kids and stuff, but still, you have to have some sort of standards, even if it's kids stuff. I don't understand how they can include paint in here, which I assume is exactly the same paint, but one paint be as thin as water and the other paint be as thick as custard. How does that even happen? The green paint looks alright. Yeah, the green paint's quite nice actually. And the white paint is again, it's almost like water. I don't understand how they've... Maybe it just needs a bit of a mix. No, it's literally is so liquidy. Alright, let's see if the red is thick or thin. It's a mystery at this point. I can't tell. It's half full, I know that. It's not even full to the top. Okay, it's the same consistency as the green, so it's decent. I suppose something like this could be relaxing though. Oh, for f***'s sake, man. This black paint, you've just ruined my design. It's so watery. Oh, you've ruined that. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna have to improvise and do like a line. That's just an absolute mess. Well, what I was gonna say is it can be relaxing. Which is something I think we need from time to time. It's just like a nice relaxing activity. I'd had like a really chewy day at work yesterday. And I came home from work and one of the dogs had diarrheaed everywhere. Diarrheaed all over the place. You know when it's that bad that you can't like pick it up? That's how bad it was. I was just like, oh, why? I was like, why? It always tends to happen as well when you've had a bad day. Okay, I think I'm kind of done with that design because I hate these paints. But that's what it's looking like. And I think that looks quite good. Obviously you can see there, that white bit. That's because the paint was too thin and it went everywhere. And obviously the big black line completely ruins the dotted illusion, but I just had to kind of come up with a fix. It definitely could have benefited from some like thicker proper paint if you're gonna do like a dotted design. I actually don't mind rock painting. I'm surprised I'm saying it, but I don't mind rock painting. However, when it comes to this kit, I would not waste your money. I really wouldn't. I do not think this kit is a particularly good kit. They lied to us for a start with all their misleading images on the box, and I already have trust issues, and they've just backstabbed us. They've completely backstabbed us, and I'm not happy about that. I think if I'd spent like £5 on this, I'd have been like, yeah, it's worth £5. It is not worth 15 quid. It's not worth 15 quid at all. Especially considering a lot of us have like paint at home and paintbrushes, and you could literally just go outside and get some rocks. This just feels very redundant. And if you paint some rocks at home, then we could have a game of hide and go seek stone edition. Now that sounds thrilling. How would that work? Do you just hide the stones and then go find them? Like an Easter egg hunt, but with rocks. Painted rocks. Or do you run and hide with your stone and then you have to maybe you run and hide with your stone and the other person chucks the stones at you to like catch you or something. No, that sounds dangerous. Don't do that. Don't throw rocks at people, children. But anyway, if you enjoyed the fact that I wasted my money on this kit so you don't have to, then make sure to give it a thumbs up. And I'll see you next week for a brand new video. I can't believe you lied to us. I'm so furious. I'm just setting us up for failure. How dare you?